ಜಾತಕಗಳು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ
So very good morning to one and all. So am I audible to you, ma'am? Am I audible to you?
Sir,
Right, okay. So anyway, so once again, a very good morning to one and all. So
good
in
morning,
this
sir.
class, right. So in this class, Amma, in last class, uh, we we already discussed about the design procedure of your Spargate, right? Now, in this, based on those principle and by using of those application procedure, we try to solve some problems, right? So before we solving the problem, one has to understand that first we have to carefully read the problem. After reading of the carefully, after read down the problem, then you have to understand whether you have to design the gate drive or whether you. That means, suppose if they ask you for design a gate drive for the following data, then you have to design each and every part of your gear drive right from starting to end, right from starting point to end point. But if at all they're supposed to ask for try to design a module value or try to design pitch cycle diameter of the pinion or gear, if at all if they are asking in this manner, then you have to solve your problem up to that point only, right? This is very, very important point. You have to be carefully read down the problem statement. After reading the problem statement, then only you have to proceed according to the problem. But another important point is here. Here, another important point is you please understand that the design procedure is same. That means the values are procedures, whatever it is, are the formulas. The entire thing is similar ones. Only you have to understand that whether these things are suitable for you or not, for your problem. That is the only thing you have to be understand. So once if you solve one or two problems, then you can easily understand. There is no worrisome, right? So you try to understand this particular problem. I hope you are visible. This particular problem. Try to understand this problem. Try to read on the problem. Then you can go for the step-by-step procedure, right? Okay. So I read down the problem. A bronze spur pinion, rotating at 600 RPM, drives a cast iron spur gear at a transmitting ratio of 4:1. The allowable static stresses for the bronze pinion and cast iron gear are 84 megapascal and 105 megapascal respectively. See, the pinion has 16 standard 20 degrees full depth involute teeth of module 8 mm. The phase width of the both the gears are 90 mm. Find the power that can be transmitted from the standard point of strength. See, this is the problem statement. Just once, please go through the problem statement. Then we will discuss in detail regarding of this particular problem. Please go through the problem once. Read down the problem once and understand. Underline the important terminology. Right? Then we will discuss one by one. Right. So in this case, Amma, you please carefully understand. And try to listen carefully. Right? Try to understand also. So first, in the given problem, first of all, it is a spur gear. So how do you understand that it is a spur gear? Means here a bronze spur pinion. So the in the problem statement itself, it is mentioned that it is a spur gear. Okay. So try to understand that it is a spur gear. Next, a bronze spur pinion rotating at 600 RPM. That means pinion speed is mentioned here. Please understand that bronze of pinion at 600 RPM. And drives a cast iron spur gear at a transmission ratio of 4:1. 4:1. Please understand that here, whenever you are having a transmission ratio or gear ratio or velocity ratio, whatever it is, here it is a 4:1. 4:1. So 4:1. Velocity ratio or transmission ratio or gear ratio, whatever it is. Right? Please try to understand the terminology again and again. I am saying and repeating that here in this statement, they specifically mention transmission ratio. Some other problem they mention that velocity ratio. Some other problem they mention that gear ratio. Whatever the terminology it is, please understand that it is a velocity ratio is given. Right? What is the velocity ratio here? Velocity ratio is 4:1. Next, allowable static stress. So allowable static stress for the pinion and gear. Line that allowable static stress here. Allowable static stress notations are very, very important. Allowable static stress for the bronze pinion and cast iron gear. Pinion and gear are 84 megapascal and 105 megapascal. 84 megapascal for pinion and for gear it is 105 megapascal. Right. Next, the pinion has 16 teeth. See here, the pinion has 16 standard 20 degrees full depth involute teeth. That means here the pinion has 16. The pinion has 16 number of teeth. Pinion has 16 number of teeth on, number of teeth on pinion is 16. Right? And here again, the standard gear tooth system is also mentioned. Standard gear tooth system. Standard gear tooth system means, I already told you that 14.5 degrees and 20 degrees full depth system and 20 degrees stub involute system. These are the only three standard gear tooth system you are having. Out of three here, he specifically mentioned that 20 degrees full depth involute system. Right? 20 degrees full depth involute system they are using. Okay, fine. Now what is the module? Module is 8 mm and face width is 90 mm. So face width value is 90 mm. Now you're supposed to calculate the power that can be transmitted from the standard point of strength. That means based on your beam strength equation, you try to calculate the how much amount of the power is to be transmitted. So this is how your problem statement looks like. How your problem statement is look like. This is what your problem. So I hope you understand this problem. So once again, you please read down the terminology, what is mentioned in your problem. Right? So speed of the pinion. Pinion is rotating. Underline statement, pinion is rotating. So pinion speed is mentioned. Sometimes in some questions, sometimes in order to make you confusion, they used to ask for gate speed also. Please don't get confused, Amma. So that is the reason why I asked you to underline the statement. Pinion is rotating at 600 RPM means pinion speed is 600 RPM. Right? And gear ratio, velocity ratio, transmission ratio. So these three are the similar terms. Frequently we came across of these three terms in your problems especially. So gear ratio is 4:1. And allowable static stress, sigma naught is the allowable static stress, sigma naught. So sigma naught allowable static stress and sigma naught for pinion is given and sigma naught for gear is mentioned. Allowable static stress for pinion, allowable static stress for gear is mentioned. Now pinion, number of teeth on pinion is also mentioned. See, number of teeth on pinion is also mentioned, that is 18. And standard gear tooth system is 20 degrees and module is 8 mm. Right? And face width is 90 mm. Right. Now how you supposed to proceed your problem? This is your question, Amma, especially. The solution or the approach of your solution for this particular problem. Right. The simple approach, I already told you that very, very simple approach. Again, I am repeating the same approach. You please try to understand the procedure and try to apply these principles to your particular problem. In this particular problem especially. Okay. Right. Now what is the procedure? Now the first thing is, first you try to understand that in a given problem, you please understand that there is two static stress values are given, allowable static stress for pinion and allowable static stress for gear. Both values are mentioned here. If at all those two values are mentioned separately, it means that the both pinion and gear are made with different material. It is the actual meaning. It is the actual meaning, Amma. You please try to understand the statement. Whenever you are having allowable static stress values, two separate values are mentioned. If at all, if it is two separate values are mentioned in your problem, then you blindly write a statement that here both and pinion and gear are made with different material. You're having both pinion and gear are made with different materials. That is a first and foremost statement. And I already explained that whenever you try to solve a problem on gears, especially first you try to understand which is the weakest part. Which one is the weakest part? Based on the weakest part, you try to design. But here that the design is not, they are not asked for design, but again still you try to find out the weakest part. That is mandatory. You try to design the weakest part for what we call in between gear and pinion. Based on your allowable static stress and based on your tooth form factor. Right? Right. So first we try to calculate the weakest part. Then after finding out the weakest part, I told you that find out the value of m is required. After finding out the m value, then you try to design the some basic dimensions of your part or component. Basic dimensions means your face width, your module, your circle diameter, and diameter of the pinion and diameter of the gear and center distance. Whatever they are asked, simply try to design those parts. After having of all those specifications, then only try to go for the beam strength. Then you can go for the VS strength. Then you can go for the dynamic loading condition. So if you follow this procedure, then your problem is over. Right? Right. Now, you try to write down the step-by-step given data. You try to write down the step-by-step given data for this particular problem. And as you already visible on your screen, so no worries. So pinion speed. So pinion speed is NP. NP is a pinion speed. So pinion speed is simply 600 RPM. So pinion speed is 600 RPM. Right? And velocity ratio. So already you know the formula for velocity ratio. Number of teeth on gate to the number of teeth on pinion. This is the standard formula for velocity ratio. You already came across in this formula in your COM, especially kinematics of machinery. I hope you came across this velocity ratio, module values, and all those things. Formula especially. So if at all, if you forget the formula, no worries. You please remember at least while you're solving the problem. Okay. So velocity ratio is number of teeth on gear to the teeth on pinion. So TG by TP. TG is teeth on gear and TP is teeth on pinion. Teeth on gear and teeth on pinion. Very good. Next. What are the another given data? So allowable static stress for pinion and allowable static stress for gear. Allowable static stress means here you are having sigma naught P and sigma naught G. Sigma naught P means allowable static stress for pinion and sigma naught G is allowable static stress for gear. Right? Okay. Now face width is given. Face width value is 90 mm and number of teeth on pinion is also mentioned. Number of teeth on pinion is also mentioned, that is 16. So it is very, I think, easiest problem. One of the easiest problem. Why I am saying that the easiest problem is each and every data is mentioned already. Each and every data is provided in the given data. Just simply how to substitute in the given relation, then you will find the answer easily. So how do you substitute? Right. No problem. Again, so you have to move step-by-step procedure. So the first 10 step-by-step procedure is I have told you that simply have to go for a weakest part of your component. I have told you that. So how do you calculate the weakest part? You are having a formula. In the last class, I already mentioned that. Again, I am repeating. Whenever you are having, right. So it is, you please understand that Amma here, based on the weakest part, Amma, you have to decide it. Based on the weakest part. Right? So please again, please understand the point what I am discussing here, then came to know easily. Don't get confused, Amma, because here pinion and gear, both the terms are appearing. So you are having a doubt whether you are using a gear or whether you are using a pinion. And again, you are having a doubt which one is rotating and which one, and which is the driving part and which is the driven part. So here you are not worried, you are not supposed to worry about those things, Amma. Just simply you have to understand that. Just simply you have to understand that only the weakest part, and based on the weakest part, you try to design the parts. That is the concept here. You please remove all of your whatever the things that you have came across your previous one. Just try to understand the design procedure what I am explaining here. Then you can easily understand without confusing. Right? Otherwise, you get confused easily. Please don't get confused, Rama. Just listen your design procedure once what I explained here. Then, if at all you are having a doubt, you please ask them, no problem. Okay? Just carefully understand. Step by step procedure. Right? First thing is, I have told you that the first and foremost step is try to calculate the weakest part. The initial step of your any problem of your gate drive. So how do you calculate the weakest part? So in your textbook, it is almost appeared in at the end of the solution, but in the examination, you have to do it at the initial stage only. So that is the reason why I am on stressing this point. You please observe that in this, especially in your textbook, especially the textbook problem, it is almost appear at the end of the problem. I mean, end of the solution. But actually, at the beginning of the stage only, how to decide which one is the weakest part, right? So how do you decide the weakest part? Means whenever you are having both pinion and gear are made with the same material, pinion is the weakest part, and whenever you are having two different materials, and you have to calculate the product of sigma naught into y, right? That is the actual procedure. Sigma naught into y, right? Now here, you please try to understand that sigma naught into y. So sigma naught means allowable static stress. The product of sigma naught into y. Sigma naught into y. The product of sigma naught into y, which gives the result of weakest part. So that you have to calculate for pinion and gear, right? So sigma naught is the static stress and y is the tooth form factor. Now, how do you get the value of tooth form factor? Capital Y value or small y value, depending upon textbook, the notations are vary, no problem. But the statement is Louis gear tooth factor or form factor or Louis form factor. Louis form factor is Y. So what is the Y value here? That is very, very important. Now you please go back to your design procedure. At least you please try to verify your design procedure. I mean, data book. You please verify your data book. On those data book, you are having a relation 0.154 minus 0.154 minus 0.912 by TG. TG means we are doing with for gear. I already mentioned the formulas also in the last, I mean, in the previous class, especially this Y value, especially. Y value, different Y values are available for different number of T system, 14 degree system and 20 degrees full depth system and 20 degrees step involute system. In this case, we are using 20 degrees full depth involute system. For 20 degrees full depth involute system, the Y value is Y value. I am saying that Y value. I am not saying about YP value and Y value, YG value. I am saying about only Y value. Y value is 0.154 minus 0.912 by T. 0.912 by T. T means simply you can go for, it may be pinion or gear. No problem. Right? So it is a different material, so you have to calculate both the things. For gear also you have to calculate, for pinion also you have to calculate. Right? So formula is same formula, but except for T, you have to change for gear and pinion. Please try to understand at this point. At this point is very, very important. Y value calculation. Y value calculation is very, very important. Why it is important means here you are having two different materials. So how do you know that it is two different materials? It is not mentioned in your problem. You please understand that. You please verify your problem statement. It is not mentioned in your problem. It is a two different materials. But you have to understand from the given data, sigma naught, allowable static stress. Two allowable static stress values are given here. Two allowable static stress means two different materials. Right? So your conclusion will be like this only. Your conclusion will be like this only. Right? Right. So here you are having YP value and YG value, tooth form factor for pinion and tooth form factor for gear. Suppose if there is any other problem, if you are having both pinion and gear are made with same material. Suppose in the next problem, if you are having both pinion and gear are made with the same material. So obviously, directly, blindly, you can write that pinion is the weakest part. So you have to write that pinion is the weakest part. So on the particular case, we have to calculate tooth form factor for Y value only, YP only. YP only. YP means only YP. Pinion is the weakest part, so only you have to calculate YP. So whenever you are having a same material, you are having only YP. YP means tooth form factor for pinion. Whenever you are having a two different material, then you are supposed to calculate YP value and YG value. YP means tooth form factor for pinion and tooth form factor for gear. So I hope this point is clear, very clear. You have to understand very carefully. Right? Now try to calculate the answer of YP value and YG value. You please verify your YP value and YG value. Please verify your YP value and YG value. Again, right. Now we are having a doubt, Amma. Again, you please stop here. And before calculating, you are having a doubt, Amma. What is what doubt means here? What is your doubt here means simply, uh, you are having TG and TP here. TG is the number of teeth on gear and TP is the number of teeth on pinion. Now, what is your doubt means in the given problem statement, number of teeth on pinion is mentioned, that is 18. Now, what about gear? Now, what about gear? That is your doubt, Amma. Definitely, you are having a doubt. How do you calculate the number of teeth on gear? Because you have to calculate YG value. In order to calculate YG value, you required TG, number of teeth on gear. But in the given problem, only number of teeth on pinion is mentioned, that is 18. But now, how do you calculate TG value? Now, how do you calculate TG value? That is the question, right? Right. In order to calculate your TG value, please read down your problem statement. In the problem statement, they mention that velocity ratio. Please understand that in the problem statement, they mention that velocity ratio. Right, velocity ratio. Velocity ratio is mentioned that TG by TP is equal to 4:1. TG by TP equal to 4:1, that is 4 by 1. TG by TP equal to 4 by 1. Now calculate your gear value. Right. Now calculate your gear value. Okay, Amma. So number of teeth on pinion is here 16, not 18. So wrongly spelled that, it is 18. So number of teeth on pinion is 16 only. So calculate number of teeth on gear. Wrongly spelled that, number of teeth on pinion is 18, but it is 16 only, not 18, 16. Number of teeth on pinion is 16. Now calculate number of teeth on gear. Right, number of teeth on gear is 64 because it is a 4:1. So obviously the answer is 64. The number of teeth on gear is 64. Right, so this is how you calculate. I'm a very, very important. I keep on saying that first write down the formula. This is your basic approach, mathematical approach for any problematic subject. First write down the formula. Right, identify the parameters on your formula especially. So in this case, you are having TP value. TP value and TG values are unknowns. So how, TP value and TG values are you required to calculate. So directly verify for your data. So TP value is known. Next value is TG. So how do you calculate TG? Then again verify your data. Given data of your question. On those cases, you are having velocity ratio. So based on velocity ratio, you can calculate easily TG value. So calculate YP value, YG value now. Because each and every term is known. So calculate YP value and YG value. YP means, again I'm repeating, a tooth form factor, a Lewis form factor. Right? Terminology is very, very important. Don't get confused. Again, velocity ratio means gear ratio, transmission ratio, or velocity ratio, all are similar ones. Okay. So verify whether it is correct or wrong. YP value and YG value. YP value and YG value, please verify that whether it is right or wrong. Please verify that YP value and YG value whether it is right or wrong. Right. So I hope your answer is, I think you are verifying, no problem. So YP value is, we are having 0.097 and YG value is 0.14. I hope it is correct. Then you try to proceed for remaining. Product of sigma naught into y. The product of sigma naught into y. Sigma naught means here sigma naught for pinion and sigma naught for gear. So sigma naught for pinion and sigma naught for gear, you calculate product of sigma naught pinion and sigma naught gear. So sigma naught into YP and sigma naught into YG. Okay. Calculate the product of sigma naught into Y. In place of sigma naught, try to write sigma naught P for pinion and for gear write G. And same YP and YG. Now calculate the product of sigma naught into P into Yp and sigma naught into G into Yg. Okay. Now try to understand, try to identify which one is the weakest part. Which one is the weakest part? Please try to understand. Which one is the weakest part? Don't look at on your screen. You please calculate and you please mention that which one is the weakest part. See, for pinion, right? For pinion, you are having 8.148 amma, and for gear, you are having 14.7. For pinion, you are having 8.148. And for gear, please observe that the answer is 14.7. And the least value is for pinion only. The least value is for pinion. So that pinion is the weakest part. So you have to write down a statement. You have to write down a statement. So since sigma naught into Yp is less than sigma naught into G into Yg, therefore the pinion is the weakest part. Okay, Amma. So very important. So I hope you understand up to this one, Amma. So I hope you understand up to this point. Next, now try to calculate the beam strength, because the basic strength means your beam strength. Basic strength means your beam strength. Now calculate beam strength. Already you are having a formula: tangential load WT equal to sigma P WP, sigma W into or P B into P pi into M into Yp. See, you please observe that in the given formula I represent Yp value. So I am elaborating here, zooming here. Please observe that formula M into Yp. So here why I am consider Yp here, that is very important in the given relation. Your formula only Y, sigma W into B into pi into M into Y only your formula. Please verify your formula. M into Y only your formula, but here I am using Yp. Why I am using Yp, Amma? Please respond. Why I am using Yp? Your response is very important. In this formula, why I am using Yp, why not Yg? Why not Yg? Why not Yg? Right. So I already mentioned in your previous class problems. I already mentioned in your previous problem. I mean, not previous problem, previous design procedure, previous class procedures. You try to always be worry about the weakest part only. You always try to worry about the weakest part. So here the weakest part is pinion. So I mentioned that is a Yp. But please remember that while you are calculating pitch line velocity, again I am repeating here, if you calculate the pitch line velocity, if you are calculating the pitch line velocity, always you are using pinion speed only, not gear. Even gear is weakest part. Suppose in some other problem, if you get weakest part is gear, but still pinion is always run with your, the pitch line velocity is always run with your pinion only. That point you have to be understand. Right? Pitch line velocity especially. Again, on the particular case, you please don't raise your doubts. Or here the weakest part is gear. Why not you are using gear? No. Okay. So again, here I am clarifying your another doubt also. Most frequently, most of the times, many number of students are get confused on that particular pitch line velocity, especially because they remember that only weakest part. They simply fix on their mind the weakest part you have to represent, so that everywhere they are using the weakest part. Suppose if the pinion is the weakest part, your answer is correct on that particular occasion. But if at all the gear is the weakest part, your answer will vary. So that point also you have to keep in your mind. Right? So here the pinion is the weakest part, so that the formula is written down as Yp. Right? Now understand the terminology. Understand the terminology one by one. Right? Understand the terminology one by one. What is your terminology here? So here, Sigma WP. Sigma WP can be written as sigma naught into CV. Sigma naught pinion into C, because you already know the static velocity. So sigma naught P into CV. Next B and pi and M and YP. So these are the terminologies you are having in this formula. So write down the formula and understand the terminology. So sigma WP means sigma naught into P into CV. Sigma naught P value is already known, because it is a pinion. Pinion is the weakest part, so sigma naught P is supposed to use. Sigma naught P is already mentioned. Static stress, allowable static stress for pinion is already mentioned in your given data. Now what about your CV value? So that is your unknown parameter CV here. One unknown parameter is CV. Okay, fine. Next, B value into B. You are having B. So what is by B? B is called as the phase width. B is called as the phase width. Now you please verify in your given data, is there any phase width value is mentioned? Is there any phase width value is mentioned? Here phase width value is mentioned. Phase width value is somewhat 90. Phase width value is mentioned. The phase width value is 90. Next, module value. So pi value is already know, no problem. And module value. Module value means already the module also mentioned here. The module value is 8. So another terminology you are having here is YP. So already you calculated the YP value. Already you calculate the YP value. So each and every parameter is known except CV value. Except CV value. Except CV value. Now you try to calculate how you calculate CV value. That is another important point. Right? How do you calculate CV value, Amma? Anyone, you please respond. How do you calculate CV value? Same doubt already expressed in the last class also. How do you calculate CV value? How do you calculate your CV value? Please respond, because already explained in the last class also. How do you calculate CV value? Somebody is already expressed a doubt in the last class. At least that particular person also responded. He has to respond. Right. How we calculate 3 by 3 plus V? How 3 by 3 plus V? How 3 by 3 plus V? Up to 12.5. Very good. So where do you get 12.5? Velocity. So if the velocity value is mentioned, is velocity value is mentioned in your problem? I mean in your given data. Is there any velocity value specified in your given data? No. That means you have to calculate. You have to calculate, right? So some of the students responded. So very good, Amma. Right. So especially Amma, CV value. You please remember that CV values are obtained by calculating the based on your pitch line velocity. Your 3 by 3 plus V value or 6 by 6 plus V value, all those things are available based on your pitch line velocity only. That means first we have to calculate the pitch line velocity. What is the formula for pitch line velocity? Again, you're having a doubt. What is the formula for pitch line velocity? What is the formula for pitch line velocity? Right. So pitch line velocity here you are having V equal to pi dp and P by 60. I told you that pitch line velocity always you have to go for pinion speed. So pi dp and P by 60. So here dp is the pitch circle diameter for pinion. dp is the pitch circle diameter for pinion. np is the speed of the pinion. So write down the formula. Identifying the formula is first point, and identify the terminology is second part. So in this case, Amma, NP is the pinion speed that is already mentioned here. Pinion speed is 600. Now, how do you calculate your DP value? Pitch circle diameter for pinion. How do you calculate for DP value? Pitch circle diameter for pinion. Is there any relation? Is there any relation? Please recollect your formula. Recollect you are having formulas, because I already told you that each and every formula is important. Notations are very, very important. Again, please, after having the session, right. After having of this session, please verify the terminologies you are having in your what we got gate drives, module, center distance, addendum, dedendum, all those things we have to be remember the definition, remember the formulas are very, very important. Definitely they will ask a question regarding the terminologies and regarding the notations also. Don't take it as silly things, because this is a very, very important one. Understanding the terminology is very, very important, right? So here D is equal to the formula, actual formula is D equal to, right. So formula for D is equal to M into T. So T means here number of teeth or pinion or gear, whatever it is. So here you are taking DP value. So DP equal to M into TP. M value is known, TP value is known. M value is known and TP value is known. Then calculate DP value. M value is known and TP value is also known. M value is known and TP value is also known. So that calculate DP value. Then you will get DP value as 128 mm. 128 mm. Now calculate your pitch line velocity. After getting the value of what we call DP value, then substitute in the given relation velocity. Substitute in the given relation velocity. Right? So velocity equal to pi dp and p by 60. Then you are having relation 4.02 meter per second. You please underline that 4.02 meter per second. 4.02 meter per second. And whenever you are having less than 12.5 or some relation, you are having 3 by 3 plus v. Your pitch line velocity is less than 12.5 or 10. So you are having this range of pitch line velocity. Based on the range of pitch line velocity, only you consider CV value. So the pitch line velocity is less than 12.5 meter per second. Therefore, the velocity factor CV equal to 3 by 3 plus v. The velocity factor CV equal to 3 by 3 plus v. Why? Because the pitch line velocity is less than 12.5. Your pitch line velocity is less than 12.5. So that your CV value, velocity factor value is 3 by 3 plus v. Now calculate CV value. Now calculate CV value. So CV value is 0.427. CV value is 0.427. CV value is 0.427. Okay, CV value is 0.427. Now you please place the CV value in beam strength equation. In beam strength equation, that is WT equal to sigma naught into sigma naught P into CV into B into pi into M into YP. Calculate WT value. So make it fast. Calculate WT value. So your WT value is 7870 newtons. Your WT value is 7870 newtons. 7870. Okay, no problem. Whatever it is, 7870 newtons. Now, again, you require to calculate power, You require to calculate power, right? Power that can be transmitted. So you're having a relation, especially if this WT relation you are having, in Buckingham equation, you please verify your Buckingham equation. In the Buckingham equation, you are having P by WT equal to P by V. You are having a relation WT equal to P by V. You please verify your Buckingham equation. On the particular equation, you are having WT equal to P by V. So you require to calculate P value. So WT into V. So V value is known and WT value is known. Calculate power. You already know the WT value and you already know the V value. Then after calculating, you will get 31.64 kilowatts. right? Right. So this is how you're supposed to calculate the problem, especially. How you supposed to solve the problem. Here, the design procedure is not asked in your problem. Simply, they used to ask for only power. That only up to that point only you have to calculate. That is sufficient. So if at all they are asked to calculate the entire design procedure, write down the design procedure of your Spurgeon for the following data, then you have to design each and every part. Right from beginning of your what we call number of teeth and pinion to the ending of your wear load. Total 5 steps. Up to that 5 steps, you have to solve your problem. If at all in a given statement, they used to ask design a gate drive for the following data. For this question, you not worry only. Here we calculate only beam strength, amma. Only beam strength. Based on the beam strength, you calculate the power. You estimated the power. Right? So I hope this is very easiest problem. I hope you understand without any difficulty. Very easiest problem, only and only applying the relations. And again, I told you that you please verify these relations on your data book, whether this data is as easily available or not. That you have to verify yourself. Because you need not worry any formula here. Need not remember any formula. Just understanding the terminology is very important. What is WT, what is P, what is V, what is CV, what is DP, and what is DG, what is TG, what is TP. Terminology is very important. If you know the terminology, then just copy paste. No need to remember any formula. Again and again I am repeating. No need to remember. This is simply copy paste exam. This gate is also simply copy paste because all the formulas are available in your data book. No need to remember any formula. Right? Right. So in the next class, we try to design. We try to solve many number of problems regarding of your Spurgeon, because we are having 6 or 7 problems in your textbook. So at least we try to solve 3 or 4 problems. Remaining you can easily solve them on your own. Okay. And you please, after having the session, please try to solve an exercise problem based on this data, based on this given data. If please try to solve one exercise problem, then definitely we're having a doubt. Definitely we're having a doubt. You please arrange your doubt. Then we will try to clarify on your doubt on Saturday's class. Okay, Amma? So here the problems are very easy. Same procedure every time. They're repeating the same procedure. But again and again I'm repeating, terminologies are very important. If at all they are asking for center distance, you have to remember the center distance formula. Right? If at all they are asked for radial load condition or tangential loading condition, suppose if you are having a normal load, then you have to resolve the force along 2 directions, tangential and normal direction, WT cos alpha and W or sin alpha, something like that. So those things are you have to be verified. But remaining design procedure already available in your data book. So we try to solve more number of problems in the coming classes. No worries, Amma. You please try to practice this problem after having of this session. Right? Right, Amma. Anyway, so thank you for your response and thanks for your patience. Okay, Amma, leave. You may leave the hall.